Hello, and welcome to this week's Mucking Up Punch podcast with me, your fabulous host, and Keith, your not so fabulous host.
Hello, yeah. Hello.
And I've just realised something. I've done dipsticks not talking to the fucking microphone. I got so carried away and being fabulous.
Yeah. That's what they call it. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone? I'm suffering, but apart from that, it's all good. And Gareth's now got his microphone sorted. Have you got everything else sorted there? Got your head? Got your ears?
I need to turn my thing off on my phone because last time I didn't. But it's a bad boy. Hey, I did everything fucking else. Just give me shit. Well, anyway, this week we'll mostly be talking about Star Trek Generations.
Yep.
The new Doctor Who trailer and Ahsoka.
Hey Biff, how you doing? Well, you made me watch Star Trek Generations, so you know the fact that you watched Ahsoka.
Okay, hang on, no. Star Trek Generations compared to Ahsoka is fucking Shakespeare. Yes, it is. It's just how they dealt with Kirk in the end was a problem.
I think that's more egregious, to be honest, than Ahsoka. Ahsoka's just like mildly disappointing, whereas. Although, I mean, what do you want to talk about first? Because we could get Ahsoka out of the way.
Can we do Ahsoka first? Because it's shit.
Yeah.
I need to get over and done with.
I mean, I think.
All right. So two things. Featured two television stars that I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
One was caked in makeup, and the other one was hidden behind a mask, which is really annoying. So we had Wes Chatham, Amos. From thingy was hidden behind the golden stormtrooper mask thing.
Is that Wes Chatham?
That was Wes Chatham.
Oh, awesome!
What a
then
fucking waste.
There's three act people that you really enjoyed because there's Claudia Bloody Black as the witch.
That was the number. The second one was Claudia Black.
I thought there was. Who was the other one then? You're telling me you don't enjoy what's his face? Nicholson, the guy is Thorne. Because you know
he's a bit fat.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm sitting there going, he looks a bit frumpy. Is that just me? Am I allowed to say that? I'm glad you said that. It's not just me. He did have a bit of a round belly, didn't he?
Hello, Steve. Yes, he did have a. Clearly that time in exile has caused him to go. I was it right. So part of me, there was like 5 minutes worth of content in that entire episode. 5 minutes. You could edit that down to 5 minutes.
The problem is there's so many different opinions by this. You know,
no, it's not opinion. This is fact.
Well, no,
you get me those episodes. You get me those episodes ripped all in the same format. I will chop this thing down to just under an hour. And you know the worst thing is, it'll be fucking brilliant being under an hour.
But that's typical Disney Plus. But there are people that are enjoying it. I mean, Star Wars Theory is loving this, which surprises me, bearing in mind that he's, you know, not been a fan of Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, but he's loving this.
He's loving this. I was all for the casting of what's his face as Thorne because you know he does the voice so well. And he was, and he used to be, a stick-thin person. When he came out, he did look a bit frumpy, and they didn't put the ridges on him. All they've done is paint his face. They haven't put the sort of raised he has ovals, like the cartoon version and the comic version had sort of ovals kind of things around his eyes. He kind of had these bits that protruded, right? And they didn't do any of that. And I felt that was a bit of a letdown, but the voice is there. I mean, you know, through and through. And I enjoyed that. I was wondering what the hell are going on with Stormtroopers. I kind of like the guy that they've cast as Ezra. I thought that was quite good casting.
No. My problem with that is he looked like some weird Arabic fellow they picked up off the street. He needed to be a bit cleaner. I think I probably would have preferred if he was a bit cleaner, because you remember Ezra was a fucking kid last time
Yeah, but
we
he's.
saw him in thingy.
I
I
mean,
know, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't connect.
Ezra
I don't think
connected
he.
for me.
I think that they could have done. Could just done fucking. They could have done anything. Be honest with you, if they just had I don't know, anything but what they put on. I fucking hate that. I'm sorry, man. I really. It's. This is garbage. I mean, actual garbage. Seriously, I'm. This is Jodie Whittaker first season Doctor Who bad. That's how. Actually, no, because at least with that we had controversial things to cover. Where this is so if I do the food analogy and I compare TV shows and things to food, yeah.
Hmm.
So it's like kind of the Transformers movies are McDonald's hamburgers, yeah, for example. Or if a Chris Nolan film is a 3-course meal, that sort of thing, yeah. This here is a slice of dry white bread and a glass of water.
But is that because you're so anti Star Wars now?
No, it's not. It's no. I think anyone who can't see just the long overdrawn out nature and the blandness of everything going on, I may have some kind of comprehension issue. Because I watched it and I was.
I mean, I very much feel. What's happening?
No, that's what I was doing. I found myself looking at my phone more than the screen because it was so fucking dull.
Yeah, I don't know. I could argue this about Star Trek, but I don't think it's spectacular. But I don't think it's Jodie Whittaker bad.
No, it is. It is definitely Jodie Whittaker bad. Okay, so let's Ezra Bridger, meeting Ezra Bridger, big key plot point. Yeah. Right. So they've spent the entire series looking for Thrawn and Ezra Bridger. Thrawn gets his moment where he gets to come out, walk down towards them. Quite good entrance. Okay, I'll accept that. Good. We'll put that in the positive column, yeah? Ezra Bridger, Sabine, who's been after him like no fucking problem. What? Yeah, what? I was expecting to run up, give him a big hug, and then punch him in the arm, saying, "What the fuck did you do that for?" That's what I was expecting. One of those things where it's like, or slap him in the face, or do something a bit more meaningful than what they did. Yeah? This is what I mean when they said the Ezra Bridger character incorrectly, yeah? There needs to be some kind of emotional thing. Okay, they're not a couple or they're not romantically involved. That's fine. But this is a mate, yeah? So, for example, yeah, if I hadn't spoken to you in like 3-4 years, yeah? Well, 7 years, sorry, 7 years, and I saw you, there would be some kind of I'd give you some witty put down of some sort, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But it wouldn't be. You're okay. It wouldn't be that.
Well, she does hug him. She does hug him. She does run up and hug him.
That's not the first thing she does. She doesn't. And because the actress can't sell stuff without saying stuff. So, for example, Picard, you have the scene where you've got Picard and Shaw, and Picard looks at Shaw, and in that look he says, "This is my son. We need to keep him safe." And Shaw goes, "Ah, fuck, you're right." Just by looking, no dialogue, yeah? None of that either. The actress who plays Sabine is shit. She is fucking terrible. You could replace her with a cardboard cutout and someone walking behind her, and they do just as good a job, along with Ahsoka.
I am beginning to think that Dave Filoni, might have the idea for Star Wars, but I'm not sure he's a good live action person.
What he needs to do is he needs to team up with a person who's a good script writer. This is J.K. Rowling's got the same problem, yeah. When she wrote what's the second Fantastic Beasts film, yeah, because she writes and she primarily writes for books, you have to retool this for TV. And it's the same if you go from a from a cartoon writer to a thing.
Yeah, I've just seen the comment. I've just seen the comment.
I like that.
Yeah, I thought you might.
But it's annoying. There should have been some kind of big musical thing for Thrawn when he came out to really sell him, because they had everything else apart from the music there. Think about Darth Vader's entrance
I thought the music was there,
ambassadorship at the
but
beginning. Oh,
because as he's walking through the lines, but the trouble was I was paying attention to the fact that he looked a bit, well,
fat.
he looked a bit more like Captain Mangrin than he did Thorne, if you know what I mean. And that was the trouble. He had Captain Mannering vibes. God bless you, Arthur Lau. You were amazing. But you know what you know what I mean. I'm not gonna lie. I was slightly let down, disappointed in Thorne. I thought the actor was going to be great, but he's put on a bit of weight, unfortunately. And I know I'm one to talk, but honestly, the character is meant to be slim and thin, and the voice is perfect. The voice is there, and the menacing is there. And the minute he looked at that Jedi, the Dark Jedi guy, he's about to die, right? You can see him turning to the good side. I don't know. I enjoyed Anakin coming back. I enjoyed Hayden Christensen coming back because actually Hayden Christensen was really good, which makes me think that Lucas should never have died again. I'm going to say this: Lucas was never a good director. Lucas should not have directed Episode 3. And actually,
that's the same thing that Dave Filoni's got. He needs someone to sit with him to make it fit into the television world or the film world or something. And the same with J.K. Rowling. She needs to have someone there when she does the same thing too. It's not. He's got to create. He has merits. That's a polite way of saying he has merits in what he does, but being left to his own devices, not a good thing. You should have learnt that with George Lucas.
I think he's good at animation. I don't think he seems to be that good at live action. I think he's definitely cast Hera wrong. I don't mind Ezra, actually. Ezra looks all right to me. They've got the blue eyes. They've got Ezra was a slightly tanned skin. He was.
I always thought he
Persian.
came across as like Jewish looking more.
Well,
when I say that, I mean like from Israel sort of thing.
It didn't surprise me to see that kind of Persian Arabic look, because that's what I was kind of visualizing he would look like. And having the beard and hermit, that kind of makes sense. He's been on the planet living with walking tortoises, Ewok tortoises, because let's face it, they're Ewok stand-ins. I didn't find it as egregious as you, but I didn't find it I don't see what Star Wars Theory sees in it. I liked hearing Thorne's voice, but I can see what you mean by Sabine. The trouble is she looks more like Sabine. Thing is, I forgive her because she looks more like Sabine, and I just can't get past Hera because the facial features are wrong. I say this: they should have cast a black woman because the facial features work. It's the facial features. I think
they should have cast someone who could act the fucking part first. She could have been a dwarf and pulled the character off.
But here's something that I noticed this week, and I want to ask you this. You know the little girl that played the younger version of Ahsoka Tano, and also played a young Gamora. Now, both of these women are black, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's half Jewish, half Puerto Rican. Now, effectively, Disney have blackfaced. That's what they've done. Now,
no,
I'm kind of why?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Because she's white.
Ahsoka Tano is orange. If anyone should be offended, it should be Donald Trump.
This is why I think they're getting away with it. But based upon Hollywood standards, technically the adult actresses are both black. Therefore, based upon Hollywood rules, should they not have cast a young black girl?
No.
Now, I liked this kid as Ahsoka. Don't get me wrong. I really did.
No,
I thought she did a very good job.
They should have just hired someone who ticked one of their fucking diversity boxes according to Hollywood rules. Regardless, she needs to be a lesbian in a wheelchair. I'll be honest with you. so you can tick more than one box.
I'm
And the
not
box
trying
is a
to be
joke.
all diversity, blah blah blah, but it did.
Oh, don't go down there. Don't go
No,
down
I'm
that
not
path
going
with
down
their
that route. I'm more
stupid
going down
fucking
that
rules.
route because I think it's hypocrisy. But and I actually really don't care. But it did surprise me somewhat that no one else has cried, about this. But then I realised that it's because they're wearing green face because Gamora's green. But that's
what do you call it? My argument is no one's watching it.
well, this is true. I mean, the figures, while it's true, the figures are really low. It's now come out. I mean, going back to our Disney is fucked. The Marvels has now reportedly cost 275 million to make. That ain't gonna make the money back.
Minus whatever my stupid UK government is giving them, because I imagine they probably get $30 to $50 million back in tax rebates.
It's not going to be. And you heard that an Indiana Jones film, closed on 378 million worldwide. It's officially a flop.
Because it's crap. Kathleen Kennedy needs to go. What point? What point does
Did
the
you
accountant
watch it?
turn around
I
and go
still haven't watched it.
It's on Disney Plus now, isn't it?
Not here. It's not. That's weird.
Okay,
it
it's on Disney. I'm sure it's on Disney Plus, but I chose to watch Welcome to Wrexham instead. Much better.
Yeah, I just haven't bought myself to watch it. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't sit through that much of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, to be honest. I mean, I am going to watch the Blue Beetle because based upon your recommendation. So I have got that lined up to watch.
My recommendation goes like this: if it's on and you got nothing better to do, watch it. But that first third is going to drag like fucking crazy. That's my thing, because I think it's okay. There's some bits that they do really, the family bits I actually really like, because they do some of that which they should be doing in other films and stuff. So yeah,
it's funny. I was going to watch it today, then I noticed that Amazon Prime have got the first episode of the Continental on, and I needed to I wanted to watch that because Mel Gibson, and I have to admit he's only in it a little bit, but he was pretty fucking good. I mean, he was pretty fucking good in it, and he has this whole sort of kind of mafioso scene at the beginning. I mean, he's in charge of the Continental, and he's got this guy, and he's basically goes through how he's part of the high table, and he goes through all the sort of like stuff, and then he's like, if you want to keep, you've got a choice here, and he goes through all this. He's subtle about it, and then he sort of starts hinting that his family might take it. He goes, or you could just jump off the ledge here and everything would be all right. And it was done in a comical way. He was smiling, but behind it was deadly serious, and it was like, yeah, he sells that. He does. So it was nice. I mean, I know Mel Gibson is a really controversial person, but he plays a badass quite well, and it was kind of nice to see him on screen.
I don't think Blue Beetle film itself wasn't it had plenty in there. I'm not going to say it didn't have plenty in there, but it wasn't I wouldn't describe it as non-stop. I'd probably describe it as every 30 minutes on the dot regular.
Are you
the
saying
marketing was?
I was going to ask Biff, are you saying this because you've seen it, or are you basing this on some of the videos? Because I wasn't going to watch it based upon all the videos that people put out about it, but then Gareth said, no.
But my thing was, watch it if you've got nothing else to do and you're just like sitting on the sofa and you're bored. Yeah, it's not. If it's on, watch it, but it's nothing to go out your way for. I think it's probably the best way of describing it. If you watch it, then going to.
I am planning to go to the cinema next week to see The Creator, because I'm hearing some really freaking good things about it. So, and the second trailer just looks spectacular. And some of it's filmed here. So it's filmed all around here. So I'm looking forward to seeing
I'm going to watch that. It's like Biffa said about watching The Expendables 4. It's not supposed to be clever or good.
Again, I have to ask this. When you say it's awful, is it kind of like, because you could argue that Expendables 3 was awful, but I kind of loved it because it's just a big dumb movie with lots of big dumb 80s fucking, movie stars in it. Is it like that, or is it just like shit because it's Hollywood, modern Hollywood? Why do you say it's shit? The Expendables 4. That's why I'm asking.
Hello, be a stupid gamer.
I genuinely want to I genuinely want to know that, because I've enjoyed the Expendables movies. I loved Expendables, but
it's not. Come on, it can't be that.
Well, it can be that modern Hollywood. The last 3 were made before all this shit came in. So yeah, it can be terrible. It can be terrible.
I got a cinema pass. I'll just watch it on the cinema pass. It cost me £3 for a Coke.
I don't go to the cinema enough because there hasn't been any good movies, to be honest.
My cinema does redos of old films. So Jurassic Park. I watched Jurassic Park in the cinema with Dexter.
That's awesome.
Which is fantastic because he hadn't seen it, and I'd been 13 when I watched it last in the cinema.
It's 30 years old. Jesus. It's over 30 years old now, isn't it? Is it 30 years old? Is it 93?
30 years old.
Yeah, it's 30 years old. Jesus.
I'm going to go and watch The Thing again in the cinema at Halloween.
That's awesome.
That's good.
I mean, look, if you're going to watch old films in the cinema, then go do it. I mean, I still think, I'm glad that I managed to see the original 3 Star Wars movies in the cinema, because now I get, what everybody said about that opening scene with the Battlestar coming over. It is epic on a big screen. It is fucking epic on a big screen. Star Destroyer. Sorry.
Wrong franchise, my friend. Deduct 1 point from your nerd card.
I've got a headache. I'm suffering this week.
So I've got a slight hangover because I drank half a bottle of red wine last night.
I wish it was a hangover. I had a weird fever last night, and I started listening. I've been re-listening. I can't find a decent Audible book, so I've been re-listening to some Audibles, and I've started on Hail Mary again, and I had freakishly fever dreams.
Have you listened to the Alien audio play things I did? There's one called Out of the Shadows, based on a book by Tim LeBron, I think, or Lebanon, or whatever. It's really good. I recommend you do it. It's a really good story. It's got Rutger Hauer in it.
I have an author that I really like who wrote some science fiction novels that have been really, really good, with a Sarky alien AI that's amazing. And he's now started writing some contemporary magic books. He's got a talking dog in there and a talking cat. They are quite good. But I've run out again. So I'm re-listening to Project Hail Mary, because apparently, long delayed, but it is now going, once the writer strike is over, it is apparently slated to go into production, starring Ryan Gosling. I think it could be a good movie if it's made right. I agree with you. But yes. Anyway, something we should talk about. Something that actually I'm now looking at, going, this could actually be quite good. Are we going to sit through the whole? Because it's a fucking long trailer. But
we can pause it. Do you want to go through the trailer and then pause it, or do you want to pause it as we go through?
Pause it as we go through. No copy straight.
Okay. So hang on a second. So Moffat's done. Sorry, Russell T Davies did what Moffat did with the 60th, where the TARDIS is getting dragged along on a crane.
But I kind of like that. Nice little Easter egg, And we know Keith. Well, we know that UNIT are in this, so again, it's a nice little Easter egg. I thought that was kind of cool.
They've got Avengers Tower, by the way. So you want to know who bought Avengers Tower? It was UNIT, and then they moved it to London. So it's looking old.
I know.
I don't want him to look old. I don't want anyone to be old. Not even me.
Sometimes I think there's something missing. Like I had something lovely.
She doesn't. Damn it, the woman is not aged. I love her.
That actually saying this one makes her look a bit older. The other one,
I know, but she hasn't aged that bad. I mean, they keep playing up all the old what's her face's sketches, Am I Bothered sketches, and I've completely forgotten about the Tony Blair one. That was fucking amazing. That Tony Blair one.
Have you seen the Doctor Who?
Yeah, it's
What have I
like,
bothered
sir, are you the doctor, sir?
Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Alice gone. I lie in bed thinking, what have I lost?
so. Are they going to kill her off?
Don't know. I don't think
That's a
so.
question.
But they could do.
I've got this friend called Donna Noble. I had to wipe her memory to save her life. If she remembers me, she will die. So what happens next? The spaceship crashes right in front of her. It's like she's drawing us in.
What?
It's purposefully left out the trailer, not focused on, but yeah.
What? I don't get what your issue is there. Oh yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Sorry for podcast listeners.
She fripping clobbers him then.
Here we go again. I don't believe in destiny, but if destiny exists, then it is heading for Donna Noble.
So something's happening. Don't know. I can't
Yeah.
figure it out. I'm not in tune with
I've got a
Doctor Who
memory.
and that. There you go. You got Neil Patrick Harris as the celestial toy maker,
Toy maker, which has been confirmed. Worst kept secret.
which is fine. You spent money. But hang on a second. All right, hold on. That's not Martha, unless you've seen Martha.
I think
Might
there's
be
going
good
to be a
for-
lot of people back that this
I'm
trailer is
hoping-
not showing.
I'm hoping there is too, but
I think we need
we'll
some
go through that.
Martha.
After a very
Yeah.
long time, something's coming back.
Who are they?
Monsters. There's something so bad the TARDIS ran away.
Yes.
I kind of like that. Yeah.
Just like, yes.
We go and kick its ass!
Go, Donna.
There, Avengers Tower.
It is kind of Avengers Tower, isn't it? It does have that vibe going on, doesn't it?
It has. It's got the bloody fucking heliport thing poking out the top of it.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah. I don't know. Go on.
It's-
I'm liking it at the moment. It feels like Russell T Davies Doctor Who. It feels like Doctor Who.
yeah, it does. It does.
Hey, Lethbridge Stewart!
Russell T Davies takes over Doctor Who, and what's the first thing he does? He brings back Unit.
Yeah, but she was not his creation.
No, she wasn't.
No,
but
she was. But yes, he's brought back Unit. Yeah.
yeah, it's like kind of what's his Chibnall dumbass wiped it out, and then he's brought it back, which I'm quite grateful for.
What do we do this time, Doctor? How do we fight the human race?
Something entered this world.
See, I'm thinking there's like 3. Is this showing like bits of from 3? Because it's like 4 episodes, isn't it? Yeah.
3.
But he is recognizing me.
Who is he?
The one who waits.
Open fire! Why does it have to be this?
I think he dies at the end. I'm just saying. Sorry, I know it's fucking obvious, but
Your fight is with me!
I don't know if I can save your life this time.
Worldwide premiere!
But I don't think these scenes are in order because I think that's near the beginning. That scene. Because
yeah.
you know. Right,
That's
I'm
not
going to
the
say.
most.
I'm going to say this, right? Having watched Sex Education, and Newty Galwar is incredibly gay in this, but I'm watching it going, when you watch Sex Education, I got really annoyed with him until towards the end. Then I really liked him again at the end, right? And I was watching him at the end going, you could wear what you like, and I still think you're going to be a good doctor. I might be wrong. I could be completely out of here, and Russell T Davies has gone completely left wall, and, it's all going to be shit. But there's just something about Shooty that just, I don't know. I think he can do it. I do.
I've told
want
you
to see
before,
it.
he's not gay. You know that, don't you?
Well, he is.
His girlfriend is a photographer.
I think he is gay, but okay. But I don't care. I think I want
No,
to
could
see
you
him as a
imagine
doctor.
the whole thing is just he just plays gay so he can get parts, because that's a brilliant actor. If that's the case, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure on him. I'm not. That's not. You know what? I think the thing that bugs me is I wanted to see Wilf. Just a fucking screen flash of Wilf.
There is a shot that where Don is standing up. You can't see it. That you see his hat. So
It's
I
not
don't
the
know.
same.
I
We
know,
want to
but I
see
think
it.
again, there's a reason why they're not showing it. This trailer doesn't show you anything. It's a very clever 2.5-minute trailer that makes you feel all the love, which it does. It's a damn good trailer, but there's a lot not in this trailer. I mean, we have got to get multiple doctors, right? You've got to do it, right? How you do it, I don't know. But if there's no Matt Smith or Peter Capaldi fucking cameo, despite what they say in this, I will be, we'll be upset. But I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get full on fucking Gallifrey, the whole fucking lot. But I could be wrong. But it looks good. It had all the
hang on a
feels.
second. The trailer's good. Doesn't mean the TV series is going to be good. Yeah?
I agree because Indiana Jones trailer was pretty good.
I like that. I admit that the film was not appealing. The trailer was good, but the film was not appealing.
I'm quietly looking forward to this again because the trailer did make me feel like this is Doctor Who. This feels like Doctor Who. The bit where fucking Donna's mum wallops him. It's like, yes, this feels like Doctor Who. I don't know. I enjoyed the trailer. I've watched it a few times. It's made me a bit excited for it. They haven't given us a date yet, but I assume that the first one is going to be in and around, the first airing of Doctor Who. So it'll be middle of November, won't it, or something like that.
Yeah. It'll be 23rd of November. No, 23rd of November.
But we're meant to be getting all three.
All right, hang on a second.
The final episode will be when it airs.
Hold on. I'm gonna just. That's the trailer. Yeah. I want to show you the Day of the Doctor trailer, which was shorter. I want to tell you. I want you to be honest. Yeah. One's more exciting than the other.
I've been running all my life through time and space. Every second of every minute of every day for over 900 years. I fought for peace in a universe at war. Now the time has come to face the choices I've made in the name of the Doctor. Our future depends on one single moment of one impossible day. The day I've been running from all my life. The day of the Doctor.
Right, they're doing it for two reasons. Yeah, 23rd of November. So around the 23rd of November will be the thingy. That's one of the reasons I was going to do it. And two, I think that's more exciting.
I get why you're saying that.
I think that's Member Berry's better too.
I get why you're saying that, and I thought the same thing. Look, we are so switched off from Doctor Who. I don't know. I honestly don't know. because I mean, you know, that whole timeless child and everything, it ruined 50 years of Doctor Who for me. And to this day, it pisses me off that the BBC allowed to do it. It's that fucking moron in charge of BBC, Piers Wagner. It's not just Chris Trimble, it's Piers Wanker as well. You know, you do not take a show that is 50 years old, well, 55 years old when they did it, right? Or 56 years old when they did it, with 56 years of history, with an actor who is long dead, who has always played the first Doctor, and then for your own ego, remove that. Because it's an insult. It's insulting to the actor. It's insulting to the history. It's insulting to the fans. And what was it done for? What was the reason? And then to not even properly explain it. And then to kill off the whole universe and not bring it back. I mean, you know, they brought the show to its knees. It cannot get worse than what it has been. So anything to me is gonna be slightly better. I love David Tennant. I know now what you say, and I think I've changed my opinion that Matt Smith was better. I think I now agree with you on that. I liked Peter Capaldi, but I don't think he had as good enough writing as Matt Smith had. Sorry, Mr. Moffat, but he didn't. But I love Peter Capaldi's regeneration. I do love the speech he gives at the end. It's still one of my favorite speeches he does.
The thing with that speech is that speech isn't from one Doctor to another. That's from Moffat to Chibnall.
I know.
And that's the beauty of it. When you look back at it, and this is Moffat leaving a message to Chibnall.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Chibnall fucking ignores all of it.
Moffat dicked with the line of Doctors, but he did that with the new era of Who, so it wasn't as egregious, and it actually worked. And the only reason they did it
because
was
he couldn't get
Chris to come back.
Eccleston.
And actually, they replaced it with John Hurt, which was, in many ways, kind of awesome. But they didn't replace the first Doctor, and they didn't replace the fact that the Doctor is from Gallifrey. 56 fucking years. The Doctor was from Gallifrey. So, I mean, I don't know how. I hope to God that he wipes it out. I hope he retcons it. But it's the only way that the BBC is going to get fans to come back. I mean, it was so egregious. It's unbelievable. And these people that go, oh, it wasn't that bad. You've become numb to this. You just don't care. You're not that great a fan. If you do not think this is egregious, then you are not a real Doctor Who fan. And I'm not fucking gatekeeping as I've been accused of. You're not.
Dude, you spend way too much time on Facebook.
I know.
So we talk about something nice. Well, almost nice.
Well, yeah, okay.
Better, not nice, better.
I will say this, apart from me taking the piss out of you, I haven't actually seen this film for probably about 15 to 20 years.
Not the only one. Do you know what really got me? Really got my goat is that all of the Star Trek films were on ITV, iPlayer. Yeah? Sorry, ITV Player, whatever it was, yeah? And they've all come off now. So I had to spend £3.49 renting it from YouTube. So,
have
really
I taught
annoying.
you nothing? Have I taught you nothing?
I do not sail the high seas. I do not say the high seas. Sorry, it's not. Yeah.
Anyway, the first thing, right? I was going to send you this. There is a YouTube video of it, but it was never finished filmed. But there is a very famous deleted scene right from the beginning, because you know the opening credits of Star Trek Generations is the spinning champagne bottle, right?
Yeah.
Now, originally that was going to be interlaced with Kirk doing a skydive from an atmospheric skydive, and it has it has Chekhov and Scotty on the ground trying to spot him, and then Kirk coming in, right? And you can watch this if you type in Star Trek Generations deleted scene. There is a scene where it shows how it was going to be interlaced with the bottle and how it was flying through. And then Kirk lands. He goes, "I landed precisely where I meant to." And then Chekhov goes, "The landing site was 30 meters that way." It's a brilliant little sort of Kirk moment. And I don't know why they removed that scene, because it kind of gave you that Kirk, was missing being on the bridge again, and he was trying to do stupid shit like jumping out of a plane because he missed it, and actually that would have made you feel only slightly better about his death because he couldn't do retirement, but because they never showed you that, actually removes something from the film. So my first criticism is, I very rarely watch a deleted scene and go, why did you delete that? It would have made the film better. There are two movies that always stick to my mind of when I see that deleted scene, I want to go and slap the director for deleting it. One of them is that scene from Generations, and the other one is Hannibal, the movie, right? They cut a scene where Clarice goes back to the dungeon, and she walks around the corner to see his old cell, and he is superimposed in the glass, but it's only very faint. And it was just such an atmospheric scene that made the movie better, and they deleted it. It's the same again with Generations. I don't know why they deleted it.
For me, it's Aliens theatrical cut versus the special edition. The Century canons explain why they didn't just come down the tunnel from the bloody thing. Don't know why they didn't go overground was the other one too. So yeah, I agree. There are ones that they cut out things, and like Terminator 2, when after they've shot the T-1000, it shatters into pieces, and then it starts touching stuff, and it can't control. It's morphing. But
power. Again, you see, with Cameron's movies, he was forced to do it. I mean, the cinematic version of The Abyss is a load of shit. The actual proper director's version that he then put out on DVD, where he included the wave and everything at the end of The Abyss, makes The Abyss still one of my favorite movies. But the movie only makes sense if you watch the special edition. Some say the same about Blade Runner, but that's a slightly different debate for another time. But
yeah, we'll do after we go through Star Trek, we'll work out where we're going from there.
So I mean, so we get the launch of the Enterprise B, and they've reused the Star Trek 6 set for it, which was blatantly obvious.
And they kind of retrofitted the Excelsior model too, which I don't think is a bad thing.
I know the Enterprise Excelsior model did look pretty cool, actually. I've forgotten that it did look pretty good.
You looked at that and went, nah, it's not so bad. Apart from the Enterprise C, which looks shit.
I still like the Enterprise C, but I'm part of a
weird group of people?
Group model of people that build starships. And actually, the Enterprise C is quite a nice looking little ship. But anyway, we can debate that.
No, it's not.
But Generations... No, I'm not. I'm always right. When it comes to starships, I know what I'm talking about.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I draw them. How many times have I come up with things for starships that fucking Star Trek nicked? Voyager. Fucking Voyager. It still bugs me.
You stole that from Batman.
Yes, but it was my idea before Voyager did it.
Just because someone has the same line of thinking.
My idea.
All right, so let's go back to the film, because it starts off and we see it entirely from Kirk's perspective. He's gone on the Enterprise B. They're just taking it out because they've installed the warp drive and whatnot. And he's fighting the urge to push the captain out of the chair and sit in it.
Yeah.
All the way through the entire time there. You've got Tim Russ, Tuvok. It's one of the bridge crew, along with the lady who plays Vasquez in Aliens, Jeanette Goldstein. They're sitting on the bridge, which is cool. They've got like reporters and shit, and there's another thing too. You can see there's a bit of tension between William Shatner and Scotty and Chekhov. There's like an underlying tension between them, which. Because that was William Shatner's awkward years, but that happens. He has the opportunity to take the chair back. He goes, no, I'll go sort out the deflector array. Do you want any milk? I'll get some milk while you're at it from down the shop. And they go off. And sorry, I missed the bit where they go for a run out. They get a distress call. They go and then try to rescue the people in distress call. And they're what's Guinan's race called?
Lorians.
Lorians?
Okay. I think it was a Lorian.
Alorians.
Yeah. Alorian.
Dave. We call him Dave. So the Dave race, everyone's Dave. I can't believe it. The Dave race have flown their ships into the thingy. Well, I think what's happened is they're
escaping the Nexus. They're escaping the Nexus. So they were escaping the Nexus, and Malcolm McDowell's character.
Doesn't give me the.
They were escaping the Nexus. They were in the Nexus.
I don't think they were escaping the Nexus. I think they hid those ships. They flew them in there, and the crew of those ships didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
No, because Malcolm McDowell's character is like, I want to go back. I want to go back. And Chekhov has to, sedate him because he wanted to go back in. And then it's mentioned, Guinan says to Picard, because she's been in the Nexus. They were coming out of the Nexus. They were escaping the Nexus. So they had been in the... And then, Dr. What's-His-Face, Malcolm McDowell's character, spends the next 78 years trying to get back in. That's kind of the premise. It's his whole motivation. He wants to go back in and spends the next 78 years. I was paying attention. As much as you make me watch this bloody film, I was paying attention.
No. This is not a great film. Good film, not a great film.
I will say that it was better than I thought it was going to be, but the ending ruins it for me. But I want to speed you slightly along because there was something I'd forgotten that actually was quite cool. But anyway, you're right that anyway. So one of these ships gets blown up. The other ship, they managed to beam 40 something of however many hundreds of people on the ship off before that ship goes boom as well. And then Kirk finishes his work. They fire off the deflector dish beam because it's always a fucking deflector dish beam. And
what's the point of having a deflector if you're not going to fucking use it?
And as the Enterprise B is moving away, because we might also point out that they could have used a tractor beam, but nothing was installed till Tuesday, including torpedoes. So Scotty has his moment, and they start moving, the ship away, and then the electrical sort of thing hits the side of the Enterprise exactly where Kirk is, and we're left with a gaping hole and no Kirk, and very somber and looking Scotty and Chekhov and Captain of the Enterprise B. Cut to the original
75, 73 years later.
HMS.
It's not the original
Enterprise.
No, it's not. It's just some made up shit that they've got because they want to take the piss out of Worf.
No, the Enterprise was a boat.
It was, but that wasn't it. Didn't look fucking anything like it.
But anyway, so they're on a boat, and it's the next gen crew, and Worf is getting promoted to lieutenant commander. Worf, and there's a whole sort of weird scene of them reading off the charges, which turn out to be you've done really well, you're a good boy, Worf. And then there's a whole walking the plank scene. Grabs the hat, and then Riker removes the plate, tells the computer to remove the holographic thing, and Riker falls in the water. Then you get the whole sort of data. Go on.
I've got a problem with the holodeck, yeah? So you've got the archway in the holodeck, yeah? So I always picture the holodeck is literally a flat room, and it's a mixture of light force fields and replicated matter in order to create your surroundings, yeah? So the where the archway is, that's the edge of the projector, yeah? That's where if you walk past that, it says game over, yeah? Now, when Picard pulls up that thing, goes, oh no, my family's died in the fire. The other crew are on the other side of that archway. And then the other crew on the other side of that archway. How?
Yeah. TARDIS.
TARDIS, all right.
TARDIS. Again, this is my first problem with this film. There was entirely no need for that. What was the point in killing off his family? There was
hang on, Keith. Keith. This film, all right, that was incredibly cheap. They reused the bird of prey exploding from Undiscovered Country. Yeah. They've pretty much reused the Excelsior model for the Enterprise B. Everything looked like it was kind of reused. They reused the set from TNG. They reused the bloody Klingon bridge from what they got.
But they actually did some really cool stuff with the TNG sets because they relit the whole thing and it looked really fucking good. on film, and I've forgotten how good the bridge looked. And actually, they fucked with the bridge as well. They put in a few computer screens at the back of the bridge, so they redressed it. Yeah, and they did a lot. And that bridge set looked so damn good when it relit. Film version of the next gen bridge looked really good, right? And you see, I've read a thing about what they did for Picard season 3. And Terry Matalis likes Generations' version of the bridge, and I agree with him, and I get it now. But they had to sort of make it recognizable with the TV version. So if you look at the way it's lit in Picard season 3, it's half and half. It's purposefully a mesh between the two. But I loved the look. I thought it looked really good, and film-wise, it does look good. But I mean, it was a bit of a MacGuffin, killing off Picard's family so he could go into the Nexus and want to be with his family.
No, that's not a MacGuffin. That's just poorly done motivation, which is not the same as McMuffin.
But anyway,
we could do with McMuffin.
We get the whole then Data. You know, we're going to focus on Data and him developing emotions. So Data does something which I thought was really funny, and I don't understand why the crew didn't think it was funny, where Data pushes in, because Data couldn't understand why Worf falling into the water was funny. And then he asks Beverly Crusher, and she says it's spontaneous. So Data pushes her in. I laugh at that. I think that was funny, right?
Yeah, I thought the others were just being dicks to him.
Yeah.
I thought what Geordi should have turned around and goes, God, no, Data, that's really out of order, and then gone, that would have worked better. It was senior member of staff.
It was kind of funny. We all push each other into swimming pools. It's kind of funny. It was a poor execution of an example that was funny versus not funny. And anyway, so then Data decides, because of the emotional turmoil of that, even though he can't feel any emotions, he has to have the emotion chip fitted. And then we get the whole Data, going on a crazy thing. Basically, cut a long story short, it goes so quickly, but actually it takes about half an hour of the film, but it feels like it goes really quickly. There's another distress signal on a space station. They rush to the space station. There's a moon blowing up. The sun is going supernova. So they have to not
initially, because they got attacked by Romulans initially.
Yes, that was it.
Because the Romulans were the trilithium.
Yeah, so they examine. That's it. So the Romulans are there. Then they examine the station, and rescue Malcolm McDowell's character and a few others. Then they go back to scan the whole thing, and then they find his sort of secret lair. And it's at this point Data's like laughing and then going sort of crazy, and his chip fuses apparently. And it's at that point that Malcolm McDowell comes back, and wallops Geordi, and Data shits himself, and doesn't rescue Geordi. And then McDowell fires off a missile at the star. The star starts to go supernova, and then he's sort of rescued. He beams off. We don't know where yet. Then we find out it's Lursa and Batol, the two Klingons from, I think, season 6 or 7 of Next Gen, that were the sort of two baddie Klingons.
I always appreciate when they do callbacks to actual episodes.
They did.
And that was a good callback.
And they were, suitably villainous.
These are the people you'd expect to be buying secret super weapons to try and take over places. Yeah, that's them and some Ferengi. What was Quark's cousin, who owns the moon? He would be the other person.
It was Jeffrey Combs' character, wasn't it? And because Jeffrey Combs played him, because he played so many fucking characters.
Galen? Is it Galen?
I can't remember, but he was. It was Jeffrey Combs as him. Because one of my favorite episodes of Deep Space Nine is the one with what's his face, Rockstar, who played the Vorta, and it's the magnificent Ferengi. Who's the rock star with the long hair that loves Star Trek, and played a Vorta? It's not Savage. What's his name?
Oh no, I know what you're thinking of. Iggy Pop.
Iggy Pop. Right. One of my favorite Deep Space Nine episodes is the Magnificent Ferengi. fucking brilliant episode. It's a really good episode. And Iggy Pop is a Vorta. Yeah. But yeah, that was Jeffrey Combs' character. Anyway, so Malcolm Dow fucks off with the Klingons. Data's taken back aboard the Enterprise and is now, emotionally wrecked. How he let down his friend Geordi. We get this stellar tarkography scene, which is kind of cool, with Picard working out where the beam is going.
I'm really fucking. Bever, please. There are children watching.
Grand Nagus.
Nagus. I don't know if he. It does sound a bit. If your tongue slips while saying
who
that.
Who played the Grand Nagus? Wasn't that
Oh, that's the guy who did one of the voices in Toy Story, the dinosaur. Yeah. Did Rex and the dinosaur. Oh man. Anyway, going back to the thingy, the Lursa sisters or whatever it is go and rescue Soren. Sean Wallace.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they do that. They go to the cartography? They realise that he's using the destroying the stars to shift the path of the ribbon.
And then we get into the Viridian system. And whilst Viridian 3, and this is the whole reason that the Enterprise was salvaged, because Viridian 3 didn't have a population, but Viridian 2 did, and it was 200 million. So, Picard goes there.
230 million, sorry.
Yeah, you're all right. 230 million. There is a brilliant video done by the Roddenberry Archives on YouTube, if you haven't watched it, of the salvaging of the Enterprise and Spock turning up at the grave of Kirk. Really good.
Yeah, I saw that kind of deep fake thing. I've got nerd battle going on in the comments.
I thought it was William Wallace. So then we get to Viridian 3. And Lursa, what's his face? The Klingon witches are waiting there. And what we don't know is that they let Geordi beam back. And what we don't know, and it should have been fucking obvious, right? Is that they put like a little spy camera in Geordi's visor.
No, it was obvious. You had fucking Malcolm McDowell wandering around with his visor and a sonic screwdriver.
I know, I'm saying it was obvious. I'm being sarcastic. British humour. I know our American friends might not get it. Dude, you're British. You're meant to get. You make the most sarky vlog ever that no American understands. I use you as an example of British humour. Still fucking funny. Sarky, right? So yes, it was fucking obvious, and he should have been checked, right? Anyway, so they watch Geordi walking around, and once Geordi, there's a great scene where he's lying on the hospital bed, and then the doctor looks over, and they're like, human females, so disgusting.
I'll be honest with you. Gates McFadden would have scared the shit out of me too if I was on that giant fucking view screen and her head came on. Like that. Just imagine just this stuff.
But I do like that they were like, yeah. So that was good. Anyway, cut long story short, Geordi goes to engineering. They see the shield. What is it? The shield. What
resonance frequency.
See, it's on, and they realize that they can then, bypass the shields, and they start shooting the shit out of the Enterprise D. Meanwhile, Picard's beamed down to the surface of Viridian 3 to try and stop Soren from firing off the thing. Basically, the Klingon bird of prey.
I'd like to point out, his Winnie the Pooh moment was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Where he has his Winnie the Pooh bit where he decides to climb through the hole and get stuck, for Soren then to just blast the shit out of him. But I will say Soren's a shit shot, because I would have got him, because he's like stationary, for fuck's sake. It's not like these things get affected by wind either.
He did have that cool kind of hand phaser, didn't he? He had that.
Like...
Spider-Man fan. Anyway, so Picard tries to stop him. The Klingon bird of prey shoots the shit out of the Enterprise D. Enterprise D basically, they realise that they can get the. They realise they can get the Klingon bird of prey, and they manage to destroy it. which they do, but not before there's a coolant leak, which basically means you've got 5 minutes to warp core. So they have to do the separation of the ship. Obviously, it's a big ship. They have to get all the kiddies out.
Keith.
What?
There is a very, very well-known trope / cliche in Star Trek involving warp cores.
Go on.
What do you do when the warp core? There's a problem with the warp core.
You eject it.
You don't sit there and destroy the other half of the ship.
I know. And actually, according to the technical manual of the Enterprise D, it does have an ejectable warp core. And in fact, the Enterprise E does it in the next fucking movie. So, oh no, no, it wasn't the next movie. It was the one after. They eject the Enterprise E ejects the warp core in one of the movies. But it does.
No, it doesn't. In 2009, Star Trek.
No, it's Enterprise
Black hole.
E. No, there's a scene. I saw a picture of it the other day of the Enterprise E's engineering without the warp core. They ejected. I just can't remember which movie. Voyager does it. Yeah, Voyager did it. Voyager did it in the Year of Hell. Because if it actually had done it, then...
this doesn't technically count in the Year of Hell because that never happened.
But oh god, there's me geeking out. So anyway, cut a long story short, they separate. But it's too late because they don't have enough clearance to get away. So when the star drive part goes kaboomy, the shockwave pushes the saucer section.
No,
what?
They're absolutely fine. It's not that. It's when Matey destroys the local star that there's a problem.
No, it's a shockwave from. Right. I know I'm right on this, and I'm going to fucking prove it. I'm going to prove it.
Would you like me to prove it too? I can prove it. I could probably prove it quicker than you.
Right,
nerd fight, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, podcast listeners. We're going to have. This is going to get a fucking copyright strike if I ever got one.
If I can. Don't play the volume. You just it's obvious. I've got it.
Oh shit! I need to hang on. I need to switch accounts.
I've got it. I've got it. It's all right. It's all good. I've got it. I thought I had it. Where is it? God damn it! Oh, there we go. Right, here we go. Star Trek Generations. Here we go. Right. Oh, it's over there now. Look, it's all the way over there. This is really annoying when you have 4 bloody screens. Right.
You're the one who chose to have the 4 screens. They don't die. They all smash into the front of the Enterprise, where they should have airbags. But that's not what kills them.
Oh no, I'm saying what. Yeah, okay, we're talking about 2 different scenes. The reason that the star drive starts crashing into the planet is it's hit by the shockwave, so it can't stay in orbit, right? Because there's nothing wrong with the star drive with the saucer section. The saucer section is flyable, right?
And they all survive, Keith.
I'm not saying that.
Survive.
Yes,
it's not. The problem is that the star goes off and just.
You're right. The star drive causes it to crash on the planet. It's a shockwave.
That's obvious.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You're going, no, it's not. No, it's not. I was like, yes, it is.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about.
I haven't got to the bit where Soren had fired off the missile into the star and caused the whole thing. And then, you watch it, once they've landed on the planet, you watch it get ripped up by the bloody shockwave from the star going boom. Yes. Yes, I'm not talking about that bit. Go back. We haven't got to that bit.
The star drive. No.
Wax ears, nerd fight. See, even Biff was saying Keith is right because we're talking about. I know that the planet causes them to die here, although they don't die, but they do die. It's before that because we haven't got to this bit yet. They haven't crashed yet because they all get onto the saucer section.
Keith, the bit that Picard went back and undid was the star going off.
I know,
if
but
he didn't, they'd still be fine.
Right. I'm going to rewind back. I was talking a bit about where they get off the star drive, and I was saying because he only had 4.5 minutes to get off, the explosion from the star drive causes the saucer section to nosedive into the planet. Right? That's where I got to. They nosedive into the planet and crash onto the planet. Soren, meanwhile, because Picard doesn't do it on his own, fires the missile into the sun. Star goes boom. computer goes boom. And then the shockwave kills everybody and brings in the Nexus. And you see that famous scene of Soren going like that in the beam, and then you watch him disappear.
Need some dance music. You need dance music to that. Some 90s.
It does look like a 90s rave, you know. Dun, 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 dun. And then and then we're in the Nexus, so we get this weird Victorian Christmas scene with Picard looking a bit dodgy. Come sit on my lap, little boy. And there's this whole thing, and then Guinan randomly turns up in Victorian wear. You're in the Nexus, mate. You're in the Nexus. It's not real. Get out of here, buddy.
Do you remember Coupling?
Yes.
Do you remember the episode called Split? And there's a scene in that where they're having a nightmare, and you see it from Steve's nightmare, and Jeff turns up, and he's like stealing all his porn. Yeah. And it's like, kind of, what are you doing here? He turns around and goes, call it a gift. And then it cuts to Susan's nightmare where she's kicking him out of the house for having too much porn. And then he's like, oh, I haven't seen this one. And it's like, what are you doing here? Call it a gift. That's how I see Guinan in this, as in that little kind of weird, like, puka thing showing up.
So she has this whole conversation and convinces him. And she somehow knows that Kirk's there. And she says, you can't. She basically says that the Nexus exists outside of time. So essentially, you can go back, you can choose to leave the Nexus, which makes no fucking sense, but you can choose to leave the Nexus. But before you do that, because Picard says, I can't stop him. So it's like, before you do that, you need to, get some help. And there's another person that's just turned up here. So cue the very famous scene of Picard meeting Kirk in a cabin, and some bird that never existed before that we don't know who she was. And Kirk, at some point in Kirk's history where he was going back to Starfleet because he chose to leave, which makes no sense, because Kirk was never done that. Never talked about that.
No, he grew old. He just might have mellowed out a bit.
No, but it was meant to be young Kirk. It was meant to be when he was younger. He looks old, but it was talking about a period in his time when he was much younger. And that's what it was talking about. So, anyway, he convinces Kirk after a horse riding scene, and Kirk that they're in some, weird reality. He convinces him that it's a good idea to stop this guy, so they both sort of come out of the Nexus somehow, even though they're still in the Nexus. I reckon they're still in the Nexus. It's all a dream. But they managed to come out the Nexus.
1 and 2. Sorry.
They have fisticuffs with Soren. Kirk ends up on a bridge, does a death-defying thing to get the remote, because Soren drops the remote. Oh. And so Kirk jumps across.
Hold on a second. There's a bit where they have the fight with Soren. They knock him off a cliff. He grabs onto a rope, and you watch the poor stunt person. He swings off, and it must be like a bungee thing, because he smashes his head with no helmet against the top of the cliff face.
Yeah.
We'll go back and watch it. It looks so fucking painful, and they even put a sound effect in there too.
I saw it.
Not like a cartoon sound effect.
I remember it. So yeah, and then Kirk, Soren drops the remote that has kind of got like the force field around the probe, and he cloaks it as well. So Kirk, it's stuck on a bridge. Kirk has to jump across the other side, gets the remote whilst the bridge is sort of really unstable. He manages to, zap it, turn off the cloaking device, and so Picard can then lock it. Meanwhile, the bridge is all shaky, and then the next thing we know, Kirk falls down attached to the bridge.
Oh no! He flies off, spinning around.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
really fucking.
And then the most egregious moment in Star Trek history of all time, including Discovery, Captain Kirk dies, which was just wrong. Should never have happened on screen.
And to who's the guy who plays Sulu's? Who's the guy who plays Sulu? What the fuck? George Takei.
George Takei.
Chagrin.
Yeah.
George Takei's disagreeing. What was his last words?
Oh my.
He should have landed, yeah. Picard should have gone down there, looked at him, looked at his dying, and he goes, I'll see if I can do something. Looked away, turned back, he's gone. Mystery. And then he turns up, and there's stories of Captain Kirk fucking turning up and helping captains out when they get when they're in the shit. It was apparently Malcolm McDowell, right? Malcolm McDowell's response to killing Captain Kirk was, so what? He was like, I don't give a shit. I never watched Star Trek. And he was getting death threats and everything at the time. But they were from nerds.
It was one of the worst decisions ever, and I agree with you. He should have just disappeared.
Just disappeared, and then it could have been a mystery, and that would have been fine. We could live with a mystery, and then at the end, little thing of stones to say, well, I think Kirk died here, and a little cross saying, maybe he died here, maybe he didn't. We don't know. But yeah,
it was the whole thing about trying to pass the baton, but you didn't need to pass the baton, really. You didn't need this metaphorical thing of the original crew passing the baton. They lived 78 years apart. You didn't need Kirk to do that. And you'd already had the passing of the baton with Scotty's episode in Next Gen, with McCoy at the beginning of the fucking, a Farpoint episode where there's an elderly McCoy walking on the ship. You'd already had all this. You didn't need it in this movie. I wish they hadn't done it. To this day, it bothers me. And it's not the best Next Gen film. It's not even the best Next Gen episode. And it was like an episode. It wasn't really a movie, and they did a really bad thing in it.
Can I ask you a favour? I've just realised I need to do an edit. Know the bit where he falls off the bridge and he goes spinning down the thingy?
Yeah.
I need to get that, and I need to get the thing from Monty Python where the guy goes, I feel happy! My brain's gone, that'd be funny. Yeah. I think it's still better than most of the shit we get today. Yeah. It's still better than Star Trek 2009.
Do you know it's funny? The podcast guys have done something really, really interesting. They have managed to sort of put together, to the best that they can, ratings, right? Across the web, everything, for all of Star Trek, right? So all of the Star Trek TV shows. So the worst rated, and they've done it like on the old sort of 7, 5, 6, 1 kind of mark. You should watch it. It's an interesting video. Anyway, the lowest rated, and this is not them, because they then put their list up to show what they think are the best Star Trek shows, and it doesn't agree. But the lowest rated was the animated series. Then it was Star Trek Prodigy, which I actually think is a travesty because Prodigy was quite good. Then it's Discovery. Strange New Worlds was at number 5.
So hang on a second. OG, Generations, Voyager.
But Picard season 3, if you take season
Voyager,
3...
Deep Space Nine. I'm not saying them in order, by the way.
Yeah.
And Enterprise. So it beat out probably Enterprise.
Voyager came in at number 4. Next Gen
Deep
was
Space
number 1. Deep Space was number 2. Number 3
original was
Enterprise, I think. I watched the video earlier, but it was really interesting. But Discovery came in because they took all 11, and Discovery was number 9. I will find it for you because I watched it earlier, and I will confirm. But it was really interesting.
They missed a really good joke right at the end, where Riker's talking to Picard and he goes, I always thought I'd get a shot at that chair, to which Picard should have turned and goes, you can take the chair with you if you want. They missed that. You can have the chair. Don't need the chair anymore. It's not attached to a starship.
Number 3 was the original series. Sorry, number 3 is the original series. Strange New Worlds is performing better than Enterprise.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Lower Decks is at number 6.
Clearly, the shit's wrong, Keith.
No, this is the viewership. When you look at their list, because they then showed their list, they showed their.
Right, and now hang on a second. So the first problem you've got with the viewership, yeah, goes as follows. Anything streaming isn't disclosed, so you don't know.
They called this the definitive ranking, and they spent enough time trying to get it in. Look, as much as I hate this, I'm not surprised by the Strange New Worlds figures. Strange New Worlds is far more popular than Discovery.
Right, I can name all the people I know who watch
and
Strange
don't
New
forget,
Worlds, and it goes like this. Hang on a
this
second.
is yeah.
No, they fucked up. That's bullshit.
No, they didn't, and they gave the reason why Enterprise didn't, because, and this is true, Enterprise had limited viewing because of UPN. When Voyager had less viewing than Deep Space Nine because of what they did to the network, and at the time UPN was like had a limited number of viewers, and that's why.
For Strange New Worlds, only one set of figures were released, and that was for that musical episode.
Watch the video and you'll understand, because I'm not doing it right.
No, because there's no figures, Keith. There's no. I can tell you there's no figures. You've told me there's no figures. We know there's no figures, because if there were figures, they tell us. If they were getting 35 million people, they would tell us. If they're getting 16 million people, they would tell us. It would be on the Nielsen's streaming results.
How they said they did it.
They fucking made it up.
No, well, they didn't, because they based it upon something. Well,
what they based it upon? If they're using the parrot analytics method, they can fuck off, because that's wrong. And that's one of the reasons that we've got such shit TV. Oh, because it's trending on Twitter.
I think they've taken fan rankings. I think it's based upon fan rankings across TV.
Is it volume of fan rankings too?
I don't know,
but
I know
other websites too.
I knew that the
Yahoo
reason why
movies?
Enterprise ranks lower than Strange New Worlds.
Fucking size of my nose. Sorry.
Strange New
Worlds. Really big nose.
No comment. Strange New Worlds reached more people than Enterprise did.
Dude, they were like fucking 2 lines of coke.
But it doesn't really matter. Discovery still is the lowest ranking live action series, so that pleases me, right? Because we can sit here and we can say Strange New Worlds has a couple of good episodes, right? You have to admit that it has a couple of good episodes.
No, I've not seen any. It's like Bigfoot. Fucking prove it.
It has reasonable episodes, but
all right. Hang on a second. Really,
Discovery
simple,
has
Keith,
none. Yeah,
Keith. Really simple. Yeah. It should be done on viewing figures, getting the viewing figures for Strange New Worlds minus the musical episode, because we already know that one.
Yeah, so they've got the fucking Nielsen ratings.
Sorry?
It got into the Nielsen ratings.
Yeah, that one did. What about the rest?
They're basing it on rankings. It's not viewing figures, it's rankings. Fan rankings.
Wank, then. Yeah, because you got some mental fucking Star Trek fans, and you've told me about them because you speak to them on Facebook. Why are you on Facebook?
I have to be for many reasons, but I do spend too much time fucking in these groups, arguing with people because they don't know what they're talking about. Although Dave McCunning gave the perfect argument this week. He gave the perfect analogy. If you haven't watched his latest video, he talks about a restaurant that you've been going to for 20 years. It's always had the best steak. It's always had the thing. But in the last few years, you've noticed that they've changed chefs and it's not as good anymore. But you still go there because you're used to it. But it's not as good, and you don't want to admit it. That's what Star Trek is, and to a certain extent, it's true, with the exception of Picard season 3.
It's not like what. It's like that. It's like that. It's short.
If he painted it red, he could be that clown character.
Fuck off.
In One Piece.
Let's see your profile, mate.
Well, yeah, there you go. I'm not going to stand up.
You've got a fairly big fucking snout too. It's a reason. It's a reason.
Anyway, look, Discovery ranks the lowest, and that's what I was trying to get to. Strange New Worlds doesn't entirely surprise me that it ranks higher than Enterprise in the thing. It does not rank higher in their list. They rank Enterprise at number 2 in rewatchable thing, and they actually said that Voyager had the most their opinion is that Voyager has the most rewatchable episodes. I'm not sure. Although Year of
God,
Hell is a
these-
damn. There's a lot
Year-
of rewatchable
alright.
episodes. Deep Space Nine.
Year
I'm
of
not-
Hell, Scorpions 1 and 2.
There's a lot from the
What's
latter
the one?
seasons. Are
What's
quite
the one
good.
with the Daedalus, where they've got the weird, and the one with the warp drive, where they get the ship that looks like it can do slipstream and it can't because it's an alien one pretending to be theirs. You've got the one with actually, now I think about it, most individual, non-serialized, rewatchable episodes.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think because when you actually think about it, you look back at Deep Space Nine. There are some rewatchable.
Oh, you have to watch the whole
episodes.
series in one go. You have to do the whole thing.
I cannot
If
watch.
you do Deep
seven
Space
seasons of
Nine, you
Star
have to
Trek.
do one after the other.
But I do. I mean, one of my favorite episodes is still the Magnificent thing. I think Deep Space Nine has the most critically acclaimed episodes, and there are some amazing episodes. If you're going to do a political episode, in what was it, the one with Cisco as the writer in the 50s, that was just, it was perfectly done. And the other one where they do the sort of the slightly future version of the riots in San Francisco, again, something that could actually fucking happen, because there is some weird politics going on at the moment that points towards this. I know it's kind of scary. But Deep Space Nine probably has the most critically acclaimed episodes, but Voyager does have the most rewatchable episodes. I think it does.
One of my favorite episodes of Deep Space Nine is the one where they're playing James Bond and they're trying to defeat the simulation, and just Cisco comes in at the end and just turns around and goes, "Now fuck it, kill the world. It's only a game, for fuck's sake." And that was just like the most adult thing to do.
There's a meme that just every time I see it, it just pisses me off, and I've stopped commenting on it. But to all the people bitching and moaning about musicals, Star Trek being a musical, and they just show a picture of Vic Fontaine. It's like, you're an idiot. Whoever made this meme is a fucking idiot. Because not only is Vic Fontaine totally in context with the show, right? It wasn't a musical episode. It was a holodeck program. Context, right? And Vic Fontaine was a character that was there purely to help them get over the horrors of war. The character was there for a damn good reason, and it was completely believable and buyable. Star Trek characters suddenly spontaneously coming out into musical and music coming from nowhere because they went into a new universe is not the same fucking thing, you moron. Sorry.
As I said, if you had Q and Q was fucking around, it would have made more sense.
Exactly. That's how you do it.
I think on that destructive note, I've got a pair of itchy bollocks that I need to scratch. So
next week is First Contact. So
yes.
and arguably the best next gen film. Arguably, it's a toss up. We could argue if you think the what's its face is the best one, but that's just Star Trek 2. And we'll watch that. You've got to watch it knowing that now.
Right.
And you tell me it's not Star Trek 2. But yeah, Star Trek First Contact.
Yeah, Star Trek First Contact. So we've got that one to watch next week. Is it final of Ahsoka? Do I have to watch it? I thought I was watching the final episode of Ahsoka.
It's not 2 episodes. It's 2 more episodes.
Oh, fuck that.
So you don't have to watch
I'll
next
find something
week.
interesting to watch. Oh, Slow Horses, end of the year. So
December the 1st. And you're getting 2 episodes. No, it ends on the 29th. So you're getting 2 episodes on December the 1st. Then it's all throughout December. Finishes on December 29th. It's got a full season. So you're all good. It's already safe. You've got a full season. So yeah, we're getting Slow Horses.
Good, because that's a good watch. Anyway, with that, we just want to say thank you guys for watching. So let's thank Biffa, Steve. Has Chuck put out his Iceland videos yet?
No, he's putting out New York first.
Right. I will catch up when he puts the Iceland videos out because I'm actually really interested to see. I've seen New York. Iceland I haven't seen as much of, so I'm more interested in that. We've also got Be a Stupid Gamer on there, who is a Twitch streamer. He's very caustic and funny. I think he'll be playing tonight on Twitch. So you can do that. You can go watch him on Twitch. Keith, we take the piss out of you on there, and Nigel, and you're not around to hear it.
I expect nothing less.
So, on that note, thank you guys for watching. It's been fun, and we will catch you next week.
See you
Say
next
goodbye,
week.
Keith.
Goodbye, Keith.